Well, hello and welcome. Welcome back. It is time once again to try to fix something, and today on the workbench, we're going to be taking a look at this Sega Game Gear. I've never worked on one of these. I never had one of these either. This is the first one I've ever really looked at up close. I think this is from like 1993, somewhere in there, and it does not work. So we're going to see if we can get it back to at least working state. And if we can do that, maybe we'll have some upgrades we can do later on. But let me show you what it's doing. I've got a power adapter plugged into it. It did come with a power adapter. Somewhere up here is that power switch. Yeah, there it is. Let me show you what it's doing. I can't slide the power switch. Let's try it now. There you go. That's all she does. You just get those lines. We are getting that red light over off to the side, but that's all she does. And she does have a game in it. I think it's Sonic 2, but and I don't think I hit start. You don't get any sound. Like, it's not just playing blind, you know, with no screen. It's not playing at all. So that's what we're starting from. Let me get it on apart and see if we can improve this any. All right, taking a look inside, we can see this is a VA1 board there, and it does look to be entirely original. I don't think it's been modified in any way or updated in any way. These capacitors look to be originals from what I've seen online, and if we look real close, there's some liquid floating around in there, lots of it. So yeah, our capacitors, like all the rest of them in these Sega Game Gears, the capacitors have leaked and they have spilt acid everywhere, electrolyte, and it has eaten away at some copper, and I don't know what else. Now, what I have to say, I looked over around this ASIC. It's a single ASIC. It looks totally clean around that. I don't see any corrosion on those legs, so we're very fortunate there. Maybe a little corrosion under these capacitors over here, you can see. But the majority of it is on the left side over here. And that's pretty bad. So, first thing to do is to probably try to get as much of this acid off as we can and get these capacitors off. Let's take a quick look under the microscope and see what we can see. Alright, we are taking a look under the microscope at this board, and yeah, there's some pretty good corrosion there. What's concerning me is some of these vias, though. Like that one right down in there between these capacitors. Let's see if I can get it in the shot. Right down in there. Take a look at that via, if I can get it in focus. It is very, very dark and not showing up too well. Right in there. That via does not look very healthy, and I think that's going to be, you know, what we're going to have to fight the most on this board are these through-hole vias that the copper has just gone away. Like maybe right in there. Yeah, that doesn't look too good, does it? And they've still got electrolyte in them right now. It looks like eating away. So yeah. Okay, I think I'll get this board out of the chassis and make it a little easier to clean. I think it will anyway. I don't think there's anything on the other side of this board, but it does look like some of this liquid has gone through to the other side through those vias. So let's get this whole thing out. board is out. I'm just taking a look around. I think what I'm going to start with is just trying to take these side cutters and, you know, cut these leaking capacitors out and then remove the legs is what I'm thinking. Of course, they are glued down, so you have to kind of, you know, carefully get up under there and pop these up to get the glue broken loose, and then I may cut these legs and do it that way. There's several ways to do it, I suppose, but that may be the safest way to do it. I think I'm going to do it under the microscope so I can see a little better what I'm getting, you know, around and under. I don't want to damage something if I don't have to there. Alright, after that little cleanup, I've removed most of the leaking capacitors in a pile over there. There's still a few on the other side of the board that don't look like they've leaked yet, but I'll get those too at some point. And there's also some on that the power board, which I guess is under there, down there somewhere. There's some definitely that have leaked there. But I want to see if this has made any difference in it. So I've got the AC adapter in there. I want to see if this has helped it at all, taking off those bad caps. If I can again turn this thing on. Okay, just got no lines now, just a black screen. Backlight's on, red light's on, but that's it. So not a big improvement, but it's a change. It's different now. All right, where are we now on this Game Gear? Well, we haven't made it much further. I've been looking around on this connector right here because I do have the schematic right there. And you can see it shows 34 volts on pin 9, and you got 5 volts on the other end. Those all look good. I have not checked that VREF. I probably should see if it's there, although it doesn't really tell me what it should be. I'll probably find that out though. But yeah, I mean, right now the power supply looks like it's working. Now there are still a couple of capacitors over here, you know, that I have not removed, like here, here, and over here. I could remove those. Now I haven't replaced these capacitors. I don't have the capacitor kit yet, but I have one on the way. But from my understanding, you know, if you can believe what you read on the internet, it should work without them. May not be 100%, may not be perfect, but it should try to work and boot. And it doesn't seem to be doing that. At least that's what I've read. So it could still be connection problems on this side where all these capacitors. The worst leakage was on this side. And I've been going through with this piece of wire, if you can see, and pushing through these vias and trying to get that corrosion out of those vias. I could do some more of that. And I can remove those capacitors there. Decisions. All right, well, I am still digging into this Game Gear, trying to learn as I go. And I want to show you something on the schematics. Now, some video I saw somewhere alleged that, you know, all these capacitors were not necessary. As long as they weren't shorted, you could take them off, you know, and it would work somewhat without it. But I'm thinking these two right here, that's not the case. These are not decoupling capacitors. These are coupling. These are coupling a signal from one side to the other. And they're going to have to be there for that display over here to work. So I did install those two. I found some ceramics I had, 0.47s, put those in there because I think they're going to have to be there at least. Some of the decoupling ones, I'm sure you could get away with them not being in there. It wouldn't be ideal, but you would probably try to work. Anyway, I put those in there, these coupling capacitors, and it still did not work. So, yeah. But then I got to looking, you know, at our damage. And I want to show you something under the microscope. I got to chasing, if I can get microscope ready to go. Let's take a look under there, and I'll show you what I think I found here. If I could get my meter turned on and in continuity mode, so she beeps. I've been trying to locate ground. You know, what's ground? And I found there's some of these large pads right here do seem to be ground. Like if I check, you know, compared to the expansion port, the outer shell of the expansion port, that's ground. Well, if I can get the picture, that's ground. All right, take a look at this. Like that capacitor is grounded on one side. Here's where I removed C45, which, according to the schematic, is one side is connected to ground. And let's see, here's the positive side, right? And here's the negative side. Again, follow the trace right underneath there to right here. I've got a connection to ground here, but right across this wide short trace, nothing. Which means there's also no ground getting to this via wherever this ground was going on through that via right there. There's no ground getting there. So yeah, I'm guessing right in here, if you can see that discolored area, because let me try scratching it just a little bit right here. Yep. See, we have ground right there, but not there. Yeah, that's kind of scary. That's a very subtle break right there, but it is a break. See if I can scrape that off with the probe. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. Clean in too. They may have gotten this one over here too. Now I think that, well, I'm probably going to add a little solder to that one anyway, but yeah, that acid, that electrolyte got underneath that solder mask and cut that clean in two. So that's probably not helping us because we're missing ground not only here but where else, wherever else it went, we're missing that ground. I'm afraid there's going to be a whole lot of that going on with this board. Could take a while to find all the damage. Let's see if we can fix this up though. Alright, I have repaired that ground trace that was eaten in two. We do have good conductivity there, continuity. Let's see if we've done any good. I think I see something. Oh, there we go. She's come to life. That looks beautiful. Is it going to launch the game? Yeah, there it goes. Okay. That's amazing. If that's the only bad spot we have, of course we don't have any sound. I don't have the speaker hooked up. I don't have the speaker. The speaker's set off to the side over there. Let me turn this off and we'll see if we have sound. All right, I got my speaker hooked up off to the side here. Is it going to come on? There it goes. I think that switch is intermittent. Where's the volume control? Of course, I have not recapped the sound at all yet. You know what? I may not have any sound. All those capacitors I've got removed on the board. Okay. May not get any sound until I replace some of those capacitors. But we have video. And like I said, still the majority of these capacitors are still missing off the board. That's amazing it works. Okay. Well, I think I probably got to wait now. I can do some cleanup, but otherwise I've got to wait until the capacitors get here. And I'll recap it, and we'll see what's not working then. Well, I decided to go ahead and chase the audio issue while I'm waiting on capacitors, but I think the audio issue probably is capacitors. Let me show you. This is the audio amp, drives the speaker over here. And we're going to take a look at these two capacitors right here. See, is that 5 and 7, 47 microfarads. So let's take a look at that over here if we can. Let me get you set up on the tripod. Okay, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of these capacitors here. And this is my cheap and nasty ESR meter. You can find that online, the 5 transistor ESR meter, I think is what it's labeled. But it basically uses an AC signal to check for the ESR, or the loss through these capacitors. And if I can get a hold of this, this is one of those coupling capacitors. This is C5. One side and then the other. And we get wide open. So if I short the leads. So it's, whatever its ESR is, it's greater than 20 ohms. And that's C5. Let's look at C7 here. If I can get a hold of, yeah, I can get a hold. Let me move my hands out of the way if I could. kind of hard to do, isn't it? C7 also shows to be wide open. Well, lost the meter, didn't I? But anyway, they're open. Let's see if I've got something I can throw in there. We'll just see if it's if we can get some sound out of it. I'm just being impatient, I know. Well, I have replaced those two coupling caps carrying the left and right audio, as you can see. Let's see, yeah, there and right there. I'm sure the other ones need to be changed, and I'll get them soon. And these are ceramics I'm throwing in there because I had them on hand, but what I've got ordered, I'm pretty sure is electrolytics. It's kind of a personal preference thing, but I don't want to get into that debate of ceramic or electrolytic. But anyway, do we have some kind of sound now? Turn the switch on. Anything? There we go. I think it's kind of low. Yep, we have sound. Does seem a little bit low. Pretty sure I changed out those other caps. That would probably help that a lot. So, alright. This is looking more and more promising, like we're going to have a working unit here. Those caps should be in any day now when we'll finish this repair. Well, it is the next morning, and the parts have come in from Console 5. So I have my capacitor kit. I'm going to get started on installing these things and see if we can wrap this up. Well, all right, the power board and the audio board and the main board have all been recapped, and they're looking pretty good now, in pretty good shape, I'd have to say. I think I've gotten the corrosion off of it. Hopefully I got enough of that acid off. It won't keep eating away at it. So let's slip this thing together and see what it does. All right, I've got it slipped together just enough to test. Just all the various pieces are connected. Let's see if she goes up in smoke or not. There we are. That did help that sound. Recapping. Alright. Now I see put it all back together. Put it back in the case and see how it looks. Well, our Sega Game Gear is reassembled. Cleaned up pretty good. I need a new top glass here. All these scratches. But for right now, does she work? It's hard to slide that switch. One hand. Yep, she works. Alright, well, she is alive and well. It should be working for a few more years. Turn the volume down. But anyway, now that I see it works, I do have an IPS screen ordered for this thing. So that should improve the quality quite a bit. And who knows, I may have some other mods I end up adding to it. I don't know, it just seemed like a fun project. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. Thought it was somewhat interesting, educational, entertaining. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the very next repair. So long for now.